Well, hello to all and welcome. My name is Kaylin Mock and I work with the Montana Office of Rural Health and Area Health Education Center at Montana State University, and we host the RHI, the Rural Health Initiative. And our mission is to engage partners to share ideas and expertise and to support communities in improving health while stimulating a higher level of wellness across the state. So I want to thank you all for joining us today on our webinar, Montana School Wellness Policy Success Stories Part 1. And this is going to be presented by Katie Bark, Rebecca Morley, and Dr. Jake Francom. And I just want to share a few technical details before we get started. I am muting all of your lines for the presentation, but at the end of the presentation, we will have a question and answer session, and at that time, I will unmute all of your lines. So if you wish to mute your line during the question answer session, you can do so by selecting the microphone icon in the WebEx control panel on your screen, and then press mute on your phone will work as well. You can also submit questions in the chat box on the right side of your screen during the presentation, and they will be addressed by us during the question and answer session. So again, you're able to ask questions verbally via your telephone by unmuting your line at the end, or you can put your questions in the chat box and we'll address those at the end as well. So one thing about the chat box, if you are typing into the chat box, please make sure you're sending your comments to all participants. Otherwise, the comments will only be seen by me. And once the webinar is over, you will have the opportunity to view all of this information again and be able to provide valuable feedback for RHI through a brief survey. And the survey will automatically pop up on your screen and will just take a few minutes to complete. So we greatly appreciate your participation in that survey. So thank you all again for joining us today, and I will go ahead and roll the ball over to Katie, and she can begin her presentation.
As you know, my name is Katie Bark, and I'm the project director for the Montana Team Nutrition Program, which is located at Montana State University in Bozeman. And we are the nutrition education training arm for the school nutrition programs of the Office of Public Instruction. I would like to thank RHI and Kaylin and Amy for their help in co-hosting this webinar. We really appreciate the opportunity to provide information through this nice webinar service. And we're so happy that you could join us today to really learn from Montana School Wellness Champions about action steps that their school districts have taken to create healthier school environments. Before we get started, we'd love to have you just answer a poll question so we know who's in the audience. So if you can do this poll question, Amy, then we'll ask you to just choose one of the answers for what describes your position in the school or community. Okay, so about, gosh, it seems like there's a variety of parent or community members, food service professionals, and school administrators and educators. So really nice variety. Thank you for doing that, and we'll get started. Okay, so let's see here. There. So today we will be discussing ways that schools, staff, and community members have really created a culture of wellness in their school districts to really help kids learn, grow, and behave better. We know that kids with healthier eating patterns and also regular physical activity tend to do better in school as far as having better grades, really remembering what was taught in class, behaving better in class, and missing less school time. So we're really excited to be able to share some information on ways that schools have implemented their school wellness policy, which really is the foundation for creating a healthier school environment. And as you know, the wellness policy really helps establish goals for nutrition education and promotion, physical activity, and other wellness activities that can range from, teaching kids about growing food through gardens or doing a walk to school program, The wellness policy also establishes nutrition requirements for all foods sold at schools, including snacks and at school meals, along with guidelines that are for foods that are not sold through either classroom parties or student rewards. And also this is all done really through collaboration, and that's the nice thing about the wellness policy, that you can engage a variety of stakeholders in developing the wellness policy and implementing it the way it works in your school district best. So today's webinar, in the short time, we're going to be able to hear from two wellness champions. Rebecca Morley is representing Hellgate Elementary, which is in Missoula, and Dr. Jacob Frankum is the superintendent at Troy Public Schools in Troy. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Rebecca, and she can start to present on Hellgate.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Morley. I work for the Missoula City County Health Department, and I'm very honored to represent Hellgate School District. Hellgate School District is, as you will learn, a great place to learn. We can move on. Hellgate School District number 4 is the largest independent pre-K through 8 school district in Montana with over 1,500 students. It takes great pride in all of its activities, and the Wellness Council is just one part of the entire community that's working towards health of its students. We can move on. So I wanted to highlight Dr. Reisig. He's the superintendent and school wellness champion at Hellgate School District number 4. Hellgate was designated a 2015 National Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. And in this slide here, you'll see a variety of activities, and that's from a wellness activity that we've had in the evening every year since February of 2012. The Hellgate Wellness Committee has come together and planned a fun night of games, activities. We have the Montana Grizzly athletes in signing posters, and it is also at the same time a way for people to help fight food insecurity, because in order to enter into the fun that night, you bring a non-perishable food item, or you can contribute $1, and all that money is donated to the Missoula Food Bank, and those funds come back towards the school backpack program that helps feed hungry school kids in the Hellgate School District. We can move on. One of the programs that we're lucky to have at Hellgate School is the CATCH program. For those of you who might not know, CATCH stands for the Coordinated Approach to School Health. It's got a component for both physical activity and nutrition. One exciting thing about CATCH is that it has a parent component, a student component, a teaching component, and a PTA component. And that way we're all on board working towards school health. This last summer, Lisa Timms, who's the CATCH coordinator at Missoula, she saw that CATCH wasn't being used to its full extent here in Missoula, so she hosted a global national training, and Sue Fury, who you see in the upper left-hand corner, came to that training and caught fire. And so she really went forward with the CATCH program and piloted it in her 4th grade classroom. And the PE teacher, Derek Dungan, who teaches PE in the K3 through 5 building, or in the building for 3 through 5, he decided to pilot CATCH in his PE classes also. And one of the chief components of the CATCH program is the Go Slow Whoa concept of foods. You can see a bulletin board that Derek put together, but it's something that the kids can identify with, and they can identify when they're choosing their snacks at home or at school between the Go Slow and Whoa foods. It's a great program. We can move on. So the Wellness Council is a group of about 25 individuals and includes the superintendent of school, the building principals, the school nurse, some RD parents. Lisa Timms is our wellness coordinator there at Hellgate Schools. And we have several teachers that come to our meetings. Not everybody can come every time, but we've been working on this very determinedly since 2012, and we've come up with a great wellness policy. I'm only showing you a few of the highlights to that wellness policy now, but as you can see, we have a component where every single grade has some component to the wellness. It's included in all the teaching subjects. We make sure that school-based marketing is consistent with nutrition education. It includes the new Smart Snack guidelines that came out by the USDA in 2014. It emphasizes caloric balance between our food intake and energy expenditure, and it integrates both physical activity in the classroom through such things as Take 10 training or brain breaks, and discourages recess denial. We can move on. It's a unique collaboration between the PTA and the Wellness Council that makes Hellgate a special school district. So it really does take a village in order to achieve school wellness. And as you have been able to see, there are many people involved. This shows a couple of pictures of some of the PE teachers out at Hellgate School. Because it's such a big district, we have 3 separate buildings, a K through 2, a 3 through 5, and a 6th through 8th grade. And all of them contribute to the Family Fun Night. Our PTA helps fund not only catch activities, but helps us anytime we need money for something special like a smoothie party or support for things like fun, active field trips. One of the things you probably would like to know is how we use the grant money, and that's what I'd like to tell you about, because we have some exciting ways that we use the money. So some of the things that we did was trained over 85 staff in the Take 10 training, which means every hour or so you take 10 minutes or part of 10 minutes and move so that the kids' brains are activated. We purchased K through 5 curriculum for each grade level, and they're stored in the library for teachers to check out and use as needed. Then Let's Move Missoula surveyed the teachers and found that there was increased attention span and decreased behavior problems when they got the kids up and moving throughout the school day. And one of the last highlights I wanted to go over is the Treasure Tower. The Treasure Tower is really phenomenal. It's a partnership between the MBI, which is the Montana Behavioral Initiative, and outstanding achievement of students. So the Treasure Tower is filled with just small trinkets. And if you see the slide here, you'll see there's, if you want to learn more, there's a contact for our Montana representative on this slide. But what they've done is they've taken this opportunity to recognize student achievement every month. Each teacher in the K through 2 building gets to pick 2 students to receive a token. And not only do they receive a token, but their parents receive a letter that lets them know about the outstanding achievement. And in the lobby of that building, there's a ceremony every month, and every month is a different theme. And some of the examples of themes that we've used successfully in the past they're just phenomenal. Things like the peacemakers, leadership, doing the right thing, try to do your best and never give up, respect and responsibility, safety, honesty, and caring. Those were all different themes that were used, and we were able to let the students know that they're making a difference and to let their parents know they're making a difference. And we have a large bulletin board, and pictures of the outstanding students of the month are featured on that bulletin board so the kids walk by and see it all the time. It's really been very beneficial. The K through 2 principal and all of the teachers over there are really happy with the way the program has turned out. And one of the things I like about the Treasure Tower is that it's really supporting non-food rewards in our schools. And with that, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. We are just so lucky to have so many people working towards wellness out at Hellgate School, and very proud of their achievements.
Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing that. That is truly a success story of what Hellgate School and the community partners are doing. And I love how you linked good behavior along with wellness through the Treasure Tower. So thank you. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Jacob Frankum from Troy Elementary. Let me just see if I can change this slide. And Jake, I'll let you take it over.
Sure. I first want to start off by saying that Doug Reisig came from Troy Schools several years ago, so we have a lot of great things that come out of Troy. We're a District K-12, and with me presenting is Chris Newton, our food service director, and she's the brains behind it, and she does a lot of great things. And Katie's been great in coming up and helping us as we've reviewed our wellness program, and we've had a lot of support from administration, teachers, staff members, parents, and I think it's really helped us out in our district and in our community. So we've worked together as a wellness committee, having, like I said, a lot of different types of stakeholders on it. We met regularly and really fleshed out a good school wellness policy that our board approved, and they also review it every year to make sure that we're following that and ensuring that we're providing the best health component to our students, whether it's food, whether it's physical activity, and also curriculum in our classes. And then we set yearly goals with our staff and with our school board. So one of the biggest things that we did really focused on our high school. We are in the process of changing the high school and doing some remodeling to make it a little bit more welcoming. But we branded the junior high school cafeteria to Helen's Cafe because we're the Troy Trojans. And we really got a lot of our students involved, from student council to every student in the school, to give feedback to ways that we can improve what we have offering there and to make our cafeteria a little bit more welcoming. With our health courses, we try to offer a lot of different health courses to students. One of the biggest ones that's a little bit different is called an iWalk course for those students that do not like the typical PE classes, weight training classes. This is a class where students can go and walk around the track or walk on a specific route each day and get some of that physical activity in. It's an idea that we received from Eastern Montana, a great idea, and we've had a lot of students that really take hold of that. Another thing is we're in our second year of having a No Kid Hungry volunteer. They've come in and helped us kind of create that framework. Last year we had a young lady from Indiana who did a nice job incorporating herself into the entire school program and district. We have received several different grants. Thanks to Katie, she points them to us a lot of times with equipment to start our breakfast in the classroom, in the elementary school, high school, and just getting the equipment that we need to provide the food that are healthy for our students. So in the elementary school, we've had a lot of different menu changes and improvements. On the right-hand side, the picture, that's a menu that our 6th grade students do. Yeah. And also at the elementary school, we do an afternoon fruit snack, which kids seem to really, really like every single day. They look forward to that. And we do the same thing at the high school when we do get a grant for that too. We've had that once. Salad bar, we've received 2 different grants for 2 different salad bars at the junior high school, and they've worked out very well. Students have started to eat a lot more nutritious food just with the incorporation of the salad bar. We got rid of our a la carte, and we do a soup and salad bar twice a week. The salad bar goes on every single day, but the specific soup and salad is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And like I said, we do offer, when we have grant funding, we offer an afternoon fruit snack. We've just received our 2nd grant for our afternoon fruit snack. Anything to add? At the elementary school, or sorry, across the district, we're offering breakfast in the classroom. And it's a common thing to have at the elementary school, but at the high school, we're able to do it because we have an advisory program that takes place in the morning. The focus is twofold. One is to have the breakfast in the classroom with students, making sure that they get the nutrition that they need, and then the second is building relationships with a healthy staff member. And we've seen a tremendous increase in participation, over 25%. And it's hard to document because we have a lot of different things going on, but we feel like there has been a decrease in misconduct. And we've also definitely seen an attendance increase. And those pictures at the bottom are pictures of Chris Newton, who are presenting with me, and a picture of our breakfast in the classroom. It's not a huge meal, but it's a snack to get students up and going. We try to ensure that all students receive physical activity throughout the day. At the elementary school, we have a structured recess where they're overseen by some paraprofessionals and an elementary teacher, making sure students are getting out and moving around. And then also we have a run club that's been very popular in the past. And we've also had to do some improvements on our physical facilities. We've done a complete remodel of our playground, and that was funded through all through fundraising and through grants. So some of the challenges that we found is obviously the funding component, and it's really not to get the equipment, it's more of just to maintain the funding stream to keep purchasing food for our students, and then like the playground equipment, those kind of things. The challenges, we felt like it was going to be a difficult road to have staff buy-in at the elementary school, but Chris and her staff have done great in getting buy-in there. It was a little bit more difficult at the high school level and getting student buy-in there, but it's taken some time, and I think our teachers really enjoy that. So some goals that we have for the future is obviously continue trying to find some different funding that we can. And then we're currently applying for a USDA Healthier US School Challenge Award to recognize the hard work that everyone has been doing in our school district. And like I stated earlier, we're doing a cafeteria makeover at our high school, and in the future we're definitely going to be doing a remodel in our elementary school cafeteria. And then continue to improve and increase the physical activity of our students and giving them more healthy choices, and doing some courses for parents outside the school in an adult ed type program, and then getting some more community involvement is one of our main goals, is that community involvement, and getting parents involved in talking to their children about choosing healthy foods and being physically active. It's all yours.
Great. Thank you, Jake, and thank you, Rebecca, for sharing in a very short time. I really appreciate you sort of touching on the highlights of what your districts have done for really helping support healthy kids that are ready to learn. I'm so impressed by the collaboration that both your districts have done, and then also just the having the leadership at the administrator level is key, and so really appreciate that. Before we take questions from the attendees, and then also I know Julie Smith, the Food Service Director from Hellgate, and Chris Newton are on if they'd like to say anything. We just wanted to have you answer 2 more questions for us, and so we will put those up right now, if you don't mind. Okay. Great. Thank you for answering that one. And then if we go on to the next one. Great. Thank you so much for answering those. Now we'd like to open it up, and I think you press *6 to unmute your lines. Are there any questions or additional comments from Chris or Julie or anyone on the line?
Hi, this is Jacob, and I had a question for Rebecca. I just wanted to learn more about how you get more community involvement at Hellgate Elementary.
Dr. Franken, this is Rebecca. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So we have formed a channel of communication by working closely with the PTA, with the students themselves, and with the Wellness Council members in order to get people participating in the school wellness program. So one of the things that really helps us is when we have events like family fun nights, to make sure that all the parents know about it through a telephone hotline, and so they all get that message. That's one way. And another way is to involve our teachers and to recognize our students. So students are recognized in more than one way. The Montana Behavioral Initiative Treasure Tower is just one way in the K-2 building, but the other buildings are using recognition programs also. So when your student does receive special recognition, as a parent, you feel more involved, I think, with your child's learning process. And I had a question for you, Dr. Franken. So is your breakfast in the classroom universal, so regardless of income, all the students can eat breakfast?
Yes, we are, I think it's called a CEP district, so all of our students receive free breakfast and free lunch. And then we also have an after-school program. They have funding for a little snack afterwards, and we do some parent dinners at that time too.
Great. Thank you. Were there any other questions?
Yeah, we have one person asked, and this is for Troy. How does the Run Club work in Troy?
The Run Club, we have it that starts before school, and we have parents that have operated it in the past and overseen it. And so students, when they run 5 miles, they'll get a little tiny reward. If they run 10 miles, they'll run a reward. I think last year we had a student that ran over 100 miles over the course of the year.
Excellent. And then how does the No Kid Hungry volunteer program work?
We have a volunteer that, like I said, the one we had last year came from Indiana. The one this year is from Nevada. And they come in and they work in a lot of different capacities. They'll work in the cafeteria if we need them to. Part of it, they'll work on different grants. They'll work in talking with teachers and trying to build that collaboration. Sometimes it's difficult because you don't know exactly kind of the person that you're going to get. But last week, for example, our No Kid Hungry volunteer, she hosted a dinner for any community members. So we had well over 100 people there, and she did a little play, a little skit with elementary kids that got dressed up that was related to making healthy choices and making sure that you had the food that you need. But it's a pretty common thing, and they're always looking for districts that will host them. And for our district, it only costs a couple $1,000s to host them, and then the AmeriCorps covers everything else. I want to say it's like $2,000. It's not very much.
Thank you for sharing that information. If people want information on Montana No Kid Hungry, you can contact Lisa Lee in Helena, and her email is LLEE, @mt.gov. So it's llee@mt.gov if you want information on that. Was there another question?
I'm not seeing any more in the chat, but again, if you guys have questions, you're able to unmute your line and speak in.
Okay, well, hearing none, and I know we're sort of coming up to our 2:30 time, I want to just thank both presenters so much for their taking time to share information and really inspiring others around the state of how they can really implement their school wellness policy through a collaborative approach. And then I just want to finish or conclude with making sure you all know that through the Montana Team Nutrition Program and the Office of Public Instruction School Nutrition Program staff, we're there to assist schools with implementing their school wellness policy. And we do have a new electronic sort of reporting form if districts are looking for how to document what their progress with their school wellness policy. They can go and take this report. It's based on your school district. Either you can do it at the school district level or a school level, and it's at our school wellness policy website at the Office of Public Instruction. I also want to just make sure you all know that USDA has a brand new school wellness policy outreach toolkit, which is online, and there's ready-to-use presentations, files, and handouts and flyers that you can use if you're communicating your wellness policy with stakeholders in the school or through the community. And then there are also many of websites, so just know that there's a lot of support out there for school wellness. And I know we're working with schools through like our mini grant program that we try to provide funds to school districts through either for their school wellness policy. Right now we're working on providing some funding through our Harvest of the Month education program. But we know that there's a lot of school wellness success stories out there, and we'd love for to hear from you. If you have a school wellness policy success story you'd like to share, please contact me, because we would love to feature other schools through our webinar or through websites. So thank you today for joining us. Thank you, Rebecca and Jake, and for all your staff at Hellgate and through the health department, Rebecca, that you work with in your Eat Smart program, and Troy School District. We really appreciate all you do and the hard work of your school food service directors, because we know that they're working very hard along with your teachers to really help create a healthy school environment. So thank you. And
Katie,
please,
we appreciate your unstoppable passion for wellness too. Thank you for being our ultimate state leader.
well, thank you, Rebecca, but I have a lot of help through our staff at Team Nutrition and the Office of Public Instruction School Nutrition. So we're happy to help you all and work with partners around the state like Action for Healthy Kids. So thank you, and thank you, Kaylin, for your help through Montana Rural Health Initiative. And we'll, if you don't mind all taking the little short survey at the end, that would be great.